Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be several ways a narcissist gaslights you in order for them to excuse their behaviour so that they don't have to take responsibility for their behaviour, so there's no consequences for their actions, and it usually causes that shame within you or that self-doubt within you so that you stop calling them out, you stop trying to hold them accountable, you start trying to do all you can to make it up to them for the things that they are doing to you. And one of the first things a narcissistic person might say when you try to hold a boundary, when you try to stick to who you are as a person, when you try to explain a different point of view to them, because they don't want to know a different point of view, they just want you to agree with them. They can just start turning around and accusing you of being awkward, of being selfish, of being stubborn, and they can also excuse their behaviour by turning around and claiming that they've never had this problem with anyone else, which is a part of their triangulation. They're getting you to question your character, question your intentions, so that they can continue to get you to change your mind to match theirs. Another way a narcissistic person will excuse their behaviour is by claiming that they're only joking, or that you can't take a joke, you're the one that's too sensitive. Narcissistic people will go all out to mock you, humiliate you, blame you, shame you, criticise you, judge you. And as soon as you think, hang on a minute, this isn't right, and speak up for yourself, they turn around and accuse you of being unable to take a joke. So they're excusing their hurtful behaviour by passing it off as a joke. And as people can joke around and mess around, you can often think, oh, maybe it was a joke. Maybe I shouldn't take that so seriously. However, when it's a repeat pattern of behaviour, that's who they are as a person. When somebody jokes about something who is genuine and you go to speak to them about how it's affected your feelings, yes, we do need to take responsibility for our feelings. However, when you go to speak to them about how it's affected your feelings, a genuine person like yourself, if someone came to you and said, hey, you said this and it hurt my feelings, would be willing to listen and to understand, not to turn around and attack. And yes, in this day and age, you do need to be careful. I was walking home with my son the other day, and one of the children in his class can hear through technology and the help of a hearing aid, and he turned around and shouted bye to him, to which my son was in a complete world of his own and just not listening to him. So I said, he's shouting bye to you, are you going to say bye? And my son just turned around and went, oh sorry, I'm deaf, which was purely innocent. It wasn't meant to be hurtful, it wasn't meant to be spiteful, it was just a phrase of speech that he just came out with. However, these days you do have to be careful what you say due to other people's vulnerabilities. However, to genuine people, that their children, their boys, and it was me reading more into it than they were. However, with two genuine people, if that happened with two adults and one of the adults didn't appreciate that, they'd be able to come and say, hey, that you said, it's a little bit insensitive. And you can think, yes, I'm sorry, I literally wasn't thinking at the time. I just wasn't thinking, it just came out of my mouth, and then afterwards I kind of thought, oh, shouldn't have said that, so I do apologise and I will try not to do it again. With a narcissist, they're just going to go, you're too sensitive, you need to learn to lighten up, you should take a joke. Another way they excuse their behaviour is when you do try to approach them about something, they just turn around and say, I don't want to argue with you. It's not that they don't want to argue with you, it's that they don't want to communicate about any given issues. There's going to be times in our life, in many relationships, where we have to face that conflict that we don't want to face, because we don't want to offend, we don't want to fall out, we don't want to hurt, we don't want to upset. However, by discussing the important issues means we can gain a greater understanding of each other and move on from it. With a narcissist, they don't want you to understand anything, they just want everything their own way. So they say they don't want to argue with you right before they cause an argument with you, so they can accuse you of being the one that's always causing an argument, and nothing ever gets discussed, nothing ever gets resolved with them. Another one that a narcissist will come out with to excuse their behaviour is they will attack you by accusing you of trying to control them. So they'll turn around and claim, stop trying to control me, which is their projection really, because what they're trying to do is coercively control you. And whenever you don't fall into their line, they accuse you of trying to control them. Or whenever you stand up for who you are as a person, whenever you create your boundaries, whenever you say enough is enough and you no longer play their games, they get offended that they've lost control over you. So they accuse you of being the one that's trying to control them. And because you don't want to be controlling, because you do see each other as equals, you might then change your mind to serve the narcissist's needs. Another one is when they will just turn around and claim that it's all your fault. A narcissist can go out there and get pregnant by somebody else, or get somebody else pregnant, even though they're already in a committed relationship. And when the person they are with finds out about this, the narcissist can literally turn around and claim, it's your fault I got pregnant by them. It's your fault I got them pregnant. You weren't paying me enough attention. They literally will not take responsibility for their behaviour whatsoever. They just look to place the blame so that they don't have to take responsibility. They will lie to you, they will cheat on you, they will steal from you, they will shout at you, they will abandon you, they will fall silent on you, and then they will claim that it was your fault. And what we have to recognise here is not everything is our fault. We are only responsible for our own behaviour. Yes, even when they provoke us and we react to them, we're not responsible for how they provoked us. However, we are responsible with the choices we make. When we're in an emotional state, we can react, and we can react badly. However, we need to learn to step away from that person and no longer give them the emotional reaction that they are so desperate to gain from us. When they gain that emotional reaction, they can twist anything they want. When it comes to dealing with narcissistic people, you have to take your emotions out of the equation, because when you are dealing with emotional manipulators, if they've not got your emotions, they can no longer manipulate them. You're jealous, you're bitter, you're crazy. My ex is jealous, bitter and crazy. My friend is bitter. Your friend who's trying to inform you of what they think the narcissist actually is just jealous of the relationship that you have together. Narcissistic people desperately need people to believe that others are jealous, so that the narcissist again can get away with not taking responsibility for their behaviour. They desperately need people to believe that others are bitter, so that the narcissist doesn't have to take responsibility for what they did to cause that resentment within that other person. They're forever focusing on people's reactions to excuse their actions, and they will set the stage. They will purposely move on with a neighbour, a best friend, a family member that's going to be in your vicinity, so that they can try and push you as much as you can to get a reaction from you. When you just leave them to live their life and don't play into their games and don't give them any form of emotional responses, learn what those emotions are teaching you and go in a different direction of your life, they get offended by this, which is when they can usually escalate their games to try and gain that reaction. However, eventually they do move on. Another way a narcissistic person will excuse their behaviour is by not answering your question. Instead, they'll answer your question with a question to get you to defend yourself to them so that they don't have to defend themselves to you. And a method a narcissist uses to excuse their behaviour is when they turn around and claim that you'll never find someone like them, to make it feel like you're unappreciative of them and what they've done for you, and that they might even tell you that you're going to end up lonely. Again, their projection, because they fear ending up alone, and they often do end up alone. And sometimes being alone in peace is far better than being in a toxic household with manipulation and pain and trauma. However, a narcissist wants you to believe that you will be worse off without them, to excuse how they're treating you. They want you to believe that you're not good enough, that you can't do any better, so that you don't leave them. Again, it's their projection. When they turn around and claim that you're the one that's going to end up on your own, is because they don't want to end up on their own. If they've got a new source of supply lined up, they'll happily abandon you. Narcissistic people come up with many different excuses to justify and rationalise and excuse their behaviour. Any you notice, please add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support of the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.